Now, I talk a lot about prehistoric animals and how they evolved and all this stuff, but I think it's important to know what evolution is and how we know that it's even a thing. I've come to realize that evolution is just not a thing that a lot of people believe in because they just weren't taught it good enough in school or they just weren't taught it at all. So, hello and welcome to a new series that I'm going to try and start doing called The Mechanisms of Evolution. But I thought before we start talking about the mechanisms, we should probably define what evolution even is. Now, evolution is just defined as gene distribution, which over multiple generations can result in diversifying species. This is an undeniable fact, and we have seen things evolve multiple times. Now, it's important to note that evolution is a natural thing and will not confine to the human need to classify and put it in boxes. So, the classification of the phylogenetic tree can be very complicated and is very complicated just because of how humans organize things. Now, the theory of evolution is a different thing from evolution itself. The theory of evolution is a bunch of ideas that explains our observations that we see happen in the natural world. Now, it's important to note that a theory is not just a guess, it is an idea that explains several phenomena at once that we have observed. And a theory is the highest state that an idea can be at, and it will never become a law, it will never become a fact because those are separate things. Now, a fact in science is just an observable thing. A law is a mathematical statement that describes what is happening. A theory is why it's happening. This is very important to note because a lot of people will use the fact that it is just a theory as to beat down on evolution, as if gravity isn't just a theory, as if germ theory isn't just a theory. We have multiple theories that are commonly accepted. Now, evolution is the cornerstone of biology, and biologists use it every day and rely on evolution being real to do their job. Now, there are four main mechanisms in evolution that we use that make up evolution that we will be covering in this series. We have 1, gene flow, which moves through populations of the same species. We have mutations, which can be harmful, they can be beneficial, or they can be neutral. Either way, they happen all the time. We have 3, genetic drift, which is just a change in genetic makeup due to an event like an extinction, for example. And finally, we have natural selection, which is just if one attribute helps them live and reproduce, then it will get passed on to other generations. Now, finally, it's important to know that evolution may not always result in a new species and can happen inside of one species that eventually over time builds up into becoming a new species.